Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday morning Lancaster County Board of Commissioners board meeting. For introduction purposes, my name is Todd Wilchin. I am the chair of the county board this year. On my left, we have fellow commissioners Jennifer Brinkman and Deb Shore. On my right, we have fellow commissioners Roma Amundsen and Vice Chair Bill Avery. Joining us this morning from the County Attorney's Office is Mr. David Durbin. From the County Clerk's Office, we have the County Clerk, Dan Nolte, and Kelly Lundgren. And joining us from the County Board Office is the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer, Ann Ames. Now, if you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, would you please start the agenda?
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk's staff at the front of the hearing room. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Agenda item 1 are minutes. Approve the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, August 8th, 2017.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the last Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, August 8th. Any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Avery?
Yes.
Brinkman?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Amundsen?
Yes.
Wilchin?
Abstain.
Motion carries 4 yes, 1 abstention. Number 2, claims. Approval of all claims processed through August 15th, 2017.
Move approval. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve all claims processed through August 15th. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Amundsen?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Wilchin?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is number 3, new business. 3A is appointment of Christy Joy to the City of Lincoln Lancaster County Planning Commission to complete the unexpired term of Ken Weber ending September 2019.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I am Christy Joy. I reside at 801 West Rock Creek Road, just north of Raymond, Nebraska. I'll just give you just a brief synopsis of what we had talked about at our last time we were together. I just wanted to go a little deeper into my background just to give you a little flavor for how I grew up in this state of Nebraska. I grew up in southeastern Nebraska, went to school at a consolidated school district, 5 communities at Southeast Consolidated, and grew up by Stella, Nebraska. My family is a farming family where my father has chosen to go into education, so we had the luxury of getting to live by our family with our grandparents and our aunts and uncles. I also just wanted to touch a little bit on some of the activities and fun things that we did growing up with the 4-H, the county fair. We had lots of opportunities and lots of fun activities with our family on the family farm. It gave me an opportunity to really learn my work ethic, to really respect the state of Nebraska and all of the issues that we deal with on a daily basis, which then led me to go into what I pursued for my career of architecture. And this really gave me an opportunity to take those skill sets to the next level and use it from a planning and design aspect and continue to stay in the state of Nebraska, live in the state of Nebraska, raise my children in the state of Nebraska, and now they currently are in schools in the state of Nebraska. We have had the luxury of rural living just north here of Lincoln, and then I have the ability to go into town and go to work and work as an architect, and you have all of those credentials in front of you. We also do have a licensed dog kennel on our property, registered with the USDA, and my children are descendants of a homesteaded farm and farming family. So we have lots of rural background, lots of agricultural background, but then also a lot of planning and design background. So I am bringing to you my experience, all of the things that I can give in a public serving role, And hopefully this gives you the opportunity to just have a little more flavor of who I am. And I'm really excited to serve Lancaster County. Thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Joy? Just the one question that I have, and it didn't come up during our staff meeting because we focused a lot on agricultural experience. Do you have any rural development experience? I know you have an impressive background in urban planning, but do you have any rural development experience at all?
Thank you for that question. That's a very great question. Because of who I am and the abilities that we've had throughout the communities, we've had rural developments, we've had small town developments, city or utilization, such as the city of Henderson, different things like that. So a lot of use, land planning, working with our civil engineer. So it's given me a lot of opportunity to see how planning has worked, to be greatly involved with it, to be the coordinating professional over the engineering aspects of rural development.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have a question? Or otherwise, now would be appropriate time for a motion.
Move approval of the appointment of Christy Joy to the Planning Commission.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Christy Joy's appointment to the City of Lincoln and Lancaster County Planning Commission. Any discussion? Okay, I guess please call the roll. Yeah.
We both raised our hands.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to acknowledge that there's been discussion outside of this hearing room about the role of production agriculture and those representatives on the Planning Commission. And I wanted to reiterate that throughout this process, there has been no written rule established regarding that representation being on the Planning Commission. And our initial discussion as a board talked about the tradition of a resident from outside the city of Lincoln, and our applicant meets that standard. And more importantly, I think Christy has demonstrated a keen understanding about planning and the importance of the comprehensive plan and the competing interests at play when development happens outside the city of Lincoln. And for lack of a better phrase, I believe tradition must not become a sacred cow that cannot be touched. We need to grow and change and reflect the current state of development. The comprehensive plan, the document that guides decision-making by the Planning Commission, acknowledges that, quote, agriculture is no longer the primary occupation or major source of income in the county as a whole. And I believe acreage residents are playing an increasingly important role in the county because of prior actions of this board supporting acreage development. Most relevant, though, is that this role is tasked with evaluating proposed land development and its conformance with the comprehensive plan. And the latest update of the comp plan acknowledges the importance of the agriculture industry. It establishes a strategy within the business and economy chapter to continue efforts to preserve the viability of the county's agriculture industry through zoning, easements, and other means. It acknowledges the fundamental right to farm and establishes guiding principles for the development of our environment to preserve areas throughout the county for agricultural production. It says farms are important, an important part of the history and economy of the region, and the agricultural production is still important to the community, and that doesn't change with this vote. So, Christy, I want to thank you for applying for this position. I'm proud to support your appointment. I regret the small tug of war you had to witness during the nomination process, and I hope future applicants will not be deterred from applying because of this process. So, thank you.
Commissioner Shore.
My comments are a little bit shorter. I had said that I believe we needed people with a wide variety of experience on the Planning Commission. I still believe that, but we'll be voting to support your nomination today. I believe you have outstanding credentials and will do a good job in this 6-year volunteer appointment.
Well, I will go ahead and follow up on my colleague's comments. I will not be voting for you, not because you're not qualified. I think you are. I think you would represent the city of Lincoln very well in the Planning Commission. But I feel very strongly that agriculture is important to not only the city of Lincoln and Lancaster County, but the entire state. And I feel strongly that we do need that experience. Someone that has actually worked on a farm, that is, has the information necessary to make informed decision when it comes to land use in rural Lancaster County, and I think it's important. And we don't have that now on the Planning Commission, and I think that's something that we as a county board and the planning department are going to have to work very hard on, because a few weeks ago we had an issue come up in the southeast part of the county where there was conflict between agriculture and acreage owners, and there was a lot of misinformation that was being perpetuated out there. Like I said, it's not personal. It's just I feel strongly that we do need a voice of agriculture on the Planning Commission. So, but thank you for your service. Commissioner Avery?
I think it's important to point out that we have a process, that we laid out that process, and we followed that process. You emerged as the candidate with the most qualifications, and we selected you, a majority of this board. It's not unanimous, but if I can lend my support in making it look unanimous, that's what I will do. Following the process is important. We advertise that process, and then it's not appropriate, in my opinion, to change the process in the middle of the selection. And that's what was being suggested, and I think that was wrong.
Commissioner Amundson?
I'm just going to simply say that, I'm very impressed with your credentials, and I will support your nomination.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
No?
Motion carries 4 yes, 1 no.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
3B is appointment of Deborah McGuire and Lucas Sabalco to the Air Pollution Control Advisory Board for terms to expire on September 1st, 2020.
Move approval?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to appoint Deborah McGuire and Lucas Balka to the Air Pollution Control Advisory Board. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. C is an amusement license renewal application from Josh Kadavi to operate JK's Pumpkin Patch at 757 Bluff Road, Lincoln, on weekends from September 15th, 2017 through October 29th, 2017.
Move approval?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the amusement license renewal application to operate JKA Pumpkin Patch. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 3D is a special designated license application from the Nebraska Restaurant Association for an event at Hillcrest Country Club at 9401 O Street, Lincoln, on September 11th, 2017.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the SDL application from the Nebraska Restaurant Association for an event at Hillcrest Country Club. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. E is a special designated license application from Discount City for a wedding reception at Hillside Events at 12,400 West Denton Road, Denton, on September 9th, 2017.
Mr. Durbin?
Dave Durbin, Deputy County Attorney, Lancaster County Attorney's Office. We had a brief discussion of this at the Thursday staff meeting, and assuming that the board would move for approval, we would ask that the board move for a contingent approval based on receipt of an occupancy license. Again, this board does not issue the license itself, it just makes a recommendation, so our recommendation basically would be contingent on receipt of the license, and that would go to the Liquor Control Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the SDL application contingent upon receipt of occupancy permit from Discount City for a wedding reception at Hillside Events.
Is there anyone here from Discount City?
Come on forward. Good morning.
Good morning. I believe this is the first time you've applied for an SDL in front of the county board, and I just want to know a little bit about your business operation and background and other events that you've sponsored.
This is the first event that I've sponsored. I've been in business for 10 plus years. 48th and Highway 2. I'm getting into the catering part of it right now. I'm going to start selling crawlers and growlers and doing wine tastings and stuff like that, and I want to get more into the catering aspect of things.
How many staff members will you have on site, and how do you plan to ID participants?
There will be 3 of us, all with seller server permits, and also there will be security at the event.
And this is the first event of this type that you've done?
At this time, yeah.
Commissioner Amundson?
Who is providing the security?
That was one of the conditions on the
Okay. but who-
expanded
but
home
the-
occupancy permit that we approved.
But I just was wondering who's actually the,
I guess, Ms. Smith, could you come up? And I guess we have a question for the owners of Hillside Events. Yeah, either microphone.
It is Jerry Goose through Goose Security.
It's a private firm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're licensed too, as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Will you be IDing then and braceleting?
I will be IDing. We haven't talked about the bracelets. We can do that if you would like us to, but
Well, I think that's an issue that in order to get the permit to distribute alcohol, that's something that you would need to be licensed as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess whether or not you utilize other practices, I guess that's something that, I mean, it's up to you guys. So, any other discussion? Okay. Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
yes?
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
thank you.
F is a resolution in a matter of applying for financial assistance from the Recreational Trails Program Grant Fund for Wilderness Park South Bridge in Lancaster County.
Good morning, Ms. Herzl.
Are we doing the whole? No.
No, you're not testifying,
Okay.
unless you want to.
Good morning. I'll go on record, you bet. Oh, good morning. It's nice to be in front of the county board again. I always enjoy it. I'm bringing to you an application that we discussed, I think it was in February or March of this year, for the replacement of a bridge in Wilderness Park. The bridge is about half a mile north of Saltillo Road. It provides a connection between the northern parts of the park and the southern part, including a parking lot that's down here on the corner of about 27th and Saltillo Road. This bridge, in addition, is a future connector to the South Beltway Trail, as well as a trail that's planned to come in from the neighborhoods in southwest Lincoln. So it's a critical bridge for kind of bringing those trails together, providing a connection over to the Jamaica North, as well as increasing the access in the Wilderness Park area, the southern part of Wilderness Park. We had a recreational trails program application 3 years ago that was made on behalf of the county. We were not selected at that time. We're making this application again this year, and we think we have a very good chance. We are overmatched on the grants, so we are matching it greater than what they require. They require 20%, and we're doing almost 42%. We have great support from the public. I've gotten about 50 letters from individuals, as well as a letter from GPTN, the Great Plains Trails Network, the Friends of Wilderness Park. The Run for the Bridges has donated money, as has Great Plains Trails Network. So we've got really good support on it, and it's going to be an interesting project. I'll show you the basic site here. So you can see there's a lot of growth around there, a lot of trees. We're going to work very hard to make sure that we preserve as many of those trees as we can, and that we impact the park as little as possible. The Friends of Wilderness Park has a lot of members that are very knowledgeable in nature areas, environmental areas, and resources, and they've offered to help us identify a good access point and help us to identify trees that are special and need to be preserved. So that'll be part of the project. The total cost of the project is estimated at $429,550. As I said, we're overmatching on that. We have CIP funds as well as some settlement funds from a 2010 collapse of an original bridge that was there. And then we have $50,000 in matching donations from GPTN and Run for the Bridges. So Recreational Trails Program is through the Game and Parks Commission. The funding comes from the Federal Highways Administration and pass-through funds. They require an 20% match on an 80% funding, and their maximum is $250,000 on their grants.
Move approval. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to apply for financial assistance from the Recreational Trails Program Grant Fund for the Wilderness Park South Bridge.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. G is a resolution in matter of dissolution of the Highlands Road Improvement District, Lancaster County, Nebraska.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second regarding the matter of the dissolution of the Highlands Road Improvement District. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. H is a resolution in matter of dissolution of the Nearline Acres Road Improvement District, Lancaster County, Nebraska.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second regarding the dissolution of the Nearline Acres Road Improvement District. Any discussion?
Only if you have any questions. My name is Mike Reardon, and I'm an attorney in Lincoln representing the Road Improvement District.
Any questions for Mr. Reardon? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 3I is an agreement between BNSF Railway, Police, and Lancaster County on behalf of the Lancaster County Sheriff for use of the county firearms range for training and qualification testing. Term of the agreement is for 5 years.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with BNSF Railway Police for the use of the county firearms range for training and qualification testing. Mr. Wagner?
Good morning, Sheriff Terry Wagner. I'll answer any questions you might have about this. We've entered into agreements with a number of different local law enforcement agencies for the use of our range for qualification. Burlington Northern is one of those. This is kind of a continuation. They use it about once a year. It's not a great deal of usage, and it does not conflict with our usage of the range.
And
Any questions for Mr. Wagner?
we're providing them on a complimentary basis.
Yes.
Any other questions or discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 3J is an agreement between Row Crop LLC and Lancaster County on behalf of the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office for the hiring of sheriff's deputies to assist Row Crop LLC with security at the Luke Bryan Farm Tour Concert on September 28, 2017. Row Crop LLC will pay the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office for the deputies' hours worked at the rate of 1 1/2 times the regular hourly pay plus benefits, and also pay vehicle charges if requested.
Dave Durbin, Deputy County Attorney, Lancaster County Attorney's Office. Assuming that the board would be moving for approval, I would ask for contingent approval on receipt of all the insurance requirements. We are trying to move this along because the event is coming up, and my understanding is that the contractor will be finishing up their insurance shortly.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with Row Crop LLC contingent upon the submission of the required insurance certificate for the hiring of sheriff's deputies to assist Row Crop LLC with security at the Luke Bryan Farm Tour Concert. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. K is a professional services agreement between Sovol Solutions LLC and Lancaster County on behalf of the Department of Community Corrections for consulting services to evaluate outcomes for a community corrections sobriety program called 24/7. Term of the contract is from July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018. The cost of county is not to exceed $67,500.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with Sovol Solutions for consulting services to evaluate outcomes for the Community Corrections Sobriety Program 24/7. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 3L is an addendum to County Contract C-9-542 with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska to establish the Mental Health Crisis Center's participation and reimbursement amounts for the Select Blue Choice Network.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the addendum to the county contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska to establish the Mental Health Crisis Center's participation in reimbursement amounts for the Select Blue Choice Network. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. M is approval of the surplus portable electronic device policy.
Move approval?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the surplus portable electronic device policy. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. N is a recommendation from purchasing and the selection committee to award a contract to Midwest Office Automations for the cost per copy services. The estimated expenditures over the initial term of the contract is $568,978.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the recommendation from purchasing and the selection committee to award a contract to Midwest Office Automations for cost per copy services. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 3O are contracts with the following to provide the annual supply of correctional facility clothing and supplies. Terms of the contract is 4 years from the date of execution. The total combined cost to the county is not to exceed $300,000, and this includes Bob Barker Company, Inc. and Uniforms Manufacturing, Inc.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the contracts to provide the annual supply of correctional facility clothing and supplies. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. P are contracts with the following to provide the annual supply of workstations and accessories. Terms of the contracts are 1 year from the date of execution. This includes AOI in an amount not to exceed $2,500 and Office Interiors and Designs, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $4,500.
Move approval?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the contracts to provide the annual supply of workstations and accessories. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Q is an amendment to County Contract C-16-407 with Supersteam for the unit price carpet cleaning bid. The amendment renews the contract from August 9, 2017 through August 8, 2018. The cost of county is not to exceed $10,000.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend the county contract with Supersteam for unit price carpet cleaning. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. R is an amendment to County Contract C-17-378 with Midwest Sound and Lighting for the Hall of Justice courtroom audio replacement. The cost will be increased by $2,875 the remainder of the contract term, with a revised total of $192,257.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend the county contract with Midwest Sound and Lighting for the Hall of Justice courtroom audio replacement. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 3S is an amendment to County Contract C-15-407 with NMC Inc. for the annual supply of Caterpillar filters. The amendment renews the contract from August 28, 2017 through August 27, 2018. The cost of county is not to exceed $17,000.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend the county contract with NMC Inc. for the annual supply of Caterpillar filters. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. T is an amendment to County Contract C-15-381 with Murphy Tractor and Equipment Company for annual supply of John Deere filters. The amendment renews the contract from August 24th, 2017 through August 23rd, 2018. The cost of county is not to exceed $12,000.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend the county contract with Murphy Tractor and Equipment Company for the annual supply of John Deere filters. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. U are amendments to the following contracts for annual requirement of construction and landfill equipment repair. The amendment renews the contracts from August 12, 2017 through August 11, 2018. The cost of county is not to exceed $115,000 for all contracts, and this includes Hamilton Equipment Company, Murphy Tractor and Equipment Company, NMC Inc., RDO Truck Centers, Titan Machinery Inc., and Truck Center Companies.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend contracts for the annual requirement of construction and landfill equipment repair. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 3V is a contract between High Plains Enterprises, Inc. and Lancaster County on behalf of the Lancaster County Engineer for replacement of concrete box culverts F225, G111, and G144. The cost of county is $501,267.55. Work is to be completed on or before December 18th, 2017.
Pam Damon, Lancaster County Engineer. So the map that I have laid on the overhead this morning is the map of all of our scour critical bridges in Lancaster County. F225, located on McKelvey Road between Northwest 40th Street and Northwest 27th Street, is currently closed, as is Bridge G144, located on Bluff Road between 27th Street and 40th Street, as is Bridge G111, located on Elbow between 112th and 98th Street. So all three of these bridges will be replaced with box culverts under our Bridge to Box Culvert program. We know that these cost about a third of the price of a bridge. In addition to that, we received about 6 bids for this project, and I can't remember if it was 6 or 7, because on our other box culvert project, I can't remember whether it was 6 or 7, but so with that being said, very aggressive pricing. All of this money was encumbered last year. I have another map that shows that these bridges are primarily on the north part of the county. Are there any questions?
Any questions for the county engineer?
What's the timeline on this project?
So this project is a little different than our 148th Bridge to Box Culvert project. So with this project, we have said that the contractor could work on all 3 bridges simultaneously if he had the crews. He is limited to, once he takes the bridge, starts to take the bridge out, 40 days total construction. Again, all 3 of these structures are currently closed. We would hope to be complete sometime prior to November 1.
Commissioner Brinkman?
I just wanted to note that this bridge to box culvert program is going to address 25% of the bridges we have closed indefinitely. And so I think that's very exciting.
We're really excited about it, so I appreciate that you're excited too.
And I just want to point out that without the bridge to box culvert program, these roads may never have been reopened because the cost of replacement of bridges probably would have been prohibitive.
You know, that is correct, Commissioner Wilchin, and I truly would like to thank Chad Packard, our bridge engineer at the county, he was really the one that was instrumental in coming up with this solution to what has been a very bad problem for us in Lancaster County. And so we're excited this year. It's our goal to reduce our number of scour critical bridges by 1/3 by the end of the year. And God willing that we don't add more to the list and that we get great construction weather, we're going to do that.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the contract with High Plains Enterprises, Inc. For replacement of concrete box culverts F225, G111, and G144. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Brinkman?
Yes.
Wilchin?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 3W is an interlocal agreements with the following counties for the safekeeping, care, and sustenance of pre-adjudicated juveniles at the Youth Services Center. Lancaster County will reimburse at the rate of $276 per juvenile per day, and this includes Banner County and Saunders County.
Move approval?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the interlocal agreements with Banner and Saunders counties for the safekeeping, care, and sustenance of pre-adjudicated juveniles at the Youth Service Center. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson?
Yes.
Brinkman?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Wilchin?
No.
Motion carries 4 yes, 1 no. X are contracts with the following medical providers for specialized medical care or general assistance clients. Providers will be reimbursed at the Medicaid rate. This includes Extreme Physical Therapy, Southwest Lincoln Surgery, and Southeast Nebraska Hematology.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve contracts with medical providers for specialized medical care of general assistance clients. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Brinkman?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Wilchin?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Y is a grant contract with the Lincoln Public Schools, the amount of $257,533 for truancy diversion and restorative justice program. The contract is funded by the Nebraska Commission on Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Juvenile Services Aid Grant. Term of the grant contract is July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018.
Good morning, Mr.
Good
Prendo.
morning. Bruce Prendo with the County Attorney's Office. I'll answer any questions you have. You're probably all familiar with the truancy diversion program. Judge Ryder's in court, so he couldn't be here, but if you have any questions, I can answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Prenda? Commissioner Shore?
Just generally, how many students are you working with at a time, and just a little bit about the outcomes?
Depends on the school. We started with Lincoln High and Park several years ago. Right now we're at about 12 per high school. Southeast is just starting, and we have about 5 to start their program this year. And fortunately, Goodrich has 0. Park is down to 1, and Color is about 5 to 7 students. So the importance of the social worker in the school, contacting the kids, is critical. We've been able to reduce the number of filings in court that are unrelated to truancy diversion, which means that the county is going to save some money on appointment of counsel for those kids. I anticipate that with the addition of Southeast, the majority of kids who are truant in high school are going to be participating in the diversion program and not in court, which again will not incur any cost for attorneys. It takes a lot of time out of Judge Ryder's schedule, so we appreciate that. But it's essentially keeping kids out of court and an in-school program.
Commissioner Amundson?
Yeah, that was essentially what I was kind of, so that the public knows, if you could just do in one sentence or one or two what the purpose is of this particular program, so that the taxpayers do know.
Yeah, the purpose of the program is to do just that. When kids are referred to our office as truant, not attending school for upwards of 20 days, we have only a couple of options. The first option is to file in court and then have them go through the court process. And that requires, as I said, an appointment of counsel, adjudication, court time, and then probation time. Truancy diversion, it requires us to file the case, and then those kids are taken out of court, put back in school, and I meet with the students, with the principals in the schools once a month, and then Judge Ryder meets with the students as well, with the principal at Lincoln High and at Park. So we go about a semester, and when their attendance improves, we dismiss the case.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I know you mentioned the cost savings to taxpayers, but I think it's also important to note that I think the outcome for the children is actually much better going through the program than going through the court system.
Yeah, it's much better, and as I said, it results in fewer filings, and it results in fewer adjudications. It's a cost saving for every stakeholder in the juvenile justice system, and like I said, it's a fantastic program, and the kids really benefit from it.
Okay, move approval.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the grant contract with Lincoln Public Schools for the Truancy Diversion and Restorative Justice Program. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Z is a grant contract with Clyde Malone Community Center in an amount of $18,849 for the Strong Smart Girls Program. The contract is funded by the Nebraska Commission on Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Juvenile Services Aid Grant. Term of the grant contract is from July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Kim Goins, the new Executive Director for the Clyde Malone Community Center.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Did you have anything to want to discuss about the programs?
Absolutely. So this is my first time, so I didn't know if you guys wanted to ask me questions first. Well, let me begin by just saying thank you. Thank you for being a great partner to us and supporting us kind of through some transitions we've had through this really great and really needed program. Under my leadership, we've just recently created the Malone Leadership Academy, and so we'll roll up the Strong and Smart Girls program, as well as I know the other one we'll talk about here in a moment, up under this, and we'll really address three key things. One is these kids that we support at the Malone Community Center have an achievement gap. So we've partnered with both Lincoln High School as well as Color Middle School, and we've identified 20 boys and girls from each of those schools who we will roll into these programs. Secondly is also the accessibility gap. So then how do we have access to, one, just good thinkers, the technology that they may need, including internet in their homes through this program, so that they can keep up with the coursework. And then lastly, the belief gap. Oftentimes, not even the parents believe that their kids can graduate high school. And then they're also going at times into a school system where maybe the teachers don't believe that they too can graduate high school. So these are some of the three key things that we're focusing on. We've identified 2 national curriculums that are evidence-based, so we're taking pre and post on these so we can track these kids not just to college but also through college.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that update. Are there any questions? Okay.
Move approval. Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the grant contract with Clyde Malone Community Center for the Strong Smart Girls Program. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 3AA is a grant contract with Clyde Malone Community Center in an amount of $20,741 for the Talented 10th Scholar Program. The contract is funded by the Nebraska Commission on Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Juvenile Services Aid Grant. Term of the grant contract is July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018.
Thank you. Again, Kim Russell, Executive Director for the Clyde Malone Community Center. Very similar to the Strong Smart Girls, this program too rolls up under the Clyde Malone Leadership Academy that we're starting. What I'm really excited about this program in particular, as we've identified a lot of the African American males who are coming to us, oftentimes they have already been in the criminal justice system. So we just brought on 2 retired police officers out of Omaha to help support this program. So we too, again, have identified 2 curriculums to address a lot of these behaviors and to really focus on leadership, employment skills, and making sure that they're college ready when they graduate. So pretty excited about the changes that are happening here.
Great. Another great program that you're working on at the center.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for supporting us.
Absolutely.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the grant contract with Clyde Malone Community Center for the Talented 10th Scholar Program. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery?
Yes.
Brinkman?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Wilchin?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. BB is a grant contract with Cedars Youth Services in the amount of $14,000 for the Community Policing 5.0 Fun Club Program. The contract is funded by the Nebraska Commission on Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Juvenile Services Aid Grant. Term of the grant contract is July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018.
Good morning. I'm Sergeant Tommy Trotter with the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office. As you guys know, I've been up here several times over the last couple of years to present about the 5.0 Fun Club that we have with Cedars Youth Services, and I appreciate the support the board has given us over the past 2 years, and I also appreciate County Human Services and their support. If Commissioner Brinkman, I don't know if you are aware, but the 5.0 Fun Club is this collaboration we have created with Cedars Youth Services to bridge the gap between law enforcement and several of the at-risk youth that are in our county and our city. What we do is we meet twice a month. Our deputies will show up outside of this scary uniform and kind of have some interaction with the youth where we can do team building competitions, kind of just build relationships, let them know that we're just normal people, and it gives us the opportunity to meet children outside of our environment where we usually contact them. We've done some surveys, and about 90% of the children in our program that are aged between 12 and 18 have had some type of law enforcement experience in their background where they've had an interaction. And over 60% of them feel that it was a negative experience. So once we go through and we've done our meetings and we do some fun activities, take them to the movies and do things like that, they get to meet us as people. We see eye to eye a little bit more. A lot of the youth then, they want to come back, they want to keep involved. We've had at least, one in particular child who's went through the program and got off of his diversion, which he was in for, and he requested to come back. So his mother actually went to Cedars and requested that he could keep coming to the program and being involved. So he still takes part even though his interaction with the court system is over. So that was a positive interaction. And those things just keep on going. We have story after story of different children that we meet who we've changed their view of law enforcement and the way they view the criminal justice system in their neighborhoods. So,
thank you. Any questions for Sergeant Trotter? Yeah, I would just point out that I see Sergeant Trotter a lot out and about, and he is more scarier in person in uniform than he is in plain clothes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Maybe.
Okay. Commissioner Amundson.
And I do have another question. Do you know, have you taken a survey as to how many of these kids come from single parent families?
We do some demographics. The race division is just all over the board, and it's a different racial makeup than my deputies are used to interacting with outside the city of Lincoln. So it gives us that diversity that's very good for our deputies to encounter, as well as the children. A lot of the children come from inner city lower socioeconomic classes and maybe have less opportunity than we would see out in the county. So it's eye-opening for both sides of the coin. So it's a really good program.
Do you need a motion?
We do need a motion.
Need approval.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the grant contract with Cedar Youth Services for the Community Policing 5.0 Fun Club program. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Avery.
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thanks.
CC is a grant contract with Boys and Girls Club in the amount of $55,781 for the Power Hour program. The contract is funded by the Nebraska Commission on Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Community-Based Juvenile Services Aid Enhancement Grant. Term of the grant contract is March 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2017.
Hi there. Good morning. My name is Andy Larson. I'm the Interim Executive Director for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Lincoln, Lancaster County. Before I get into a little bit more about this program, I just want to make sure you guys know a little bit about us. We are just celebrating this year our 10th anniversary of being in Lincoln. We opened our doors November 1st, 2007, so we're very excited. We opened with 2 kids, and now we have 1,500 kids, so we've had a nice trajectory of growth. So really excited of where things have been, but where we're going here in the future. We serve, our kids are all school-age kids, so we serve 6 to 18-year-olds. But for this program here, our targeted age group are middle school students. We are housed just over here at Park Middle School. We are excited also kind of for a new beginning at Park Middle School. We just opened up a new building. This summer was our first time utilizing that space. So we've grown from 2,500 square feet to now close to 12,500 square feet. So we're really excited with how things are going. But for this grant, for the JJRC grant that we have with you guys, it's Power Hour is what you guys are covering. And what that is homework help after school every single day. We've been doing this for the past 8 years. We've redefined kind of how we've been doing it pretty much every year just to tweak it, to improve it. And this is most of our changes are due to our close relationship with the school. We come together and we figure out what's best for the students and for the Boys and Girls Club members. Currently, here's how our structure works. We have 14 classrooms every single day that these kids, right when the bell rings at 3 o'clock, they go right to their Power Hour classrooms. Of those 14 classrooms, we have 15 certified teachers that man those classrooms. We divide them up by grade level, so there's that continuity, that familiarity with students to teachers, so 6th grade kids are with 6th grade teachers. With this also, they're getting expertise help from the teachers that actually have assigned them the homework. In the past, it wasn't like that. We used to man the classrooms. Our staff had, they could handle a classroom very good, but when it came to curriculum and when it came to knowing what was being assigned, that was where the problem was. The kids could pull the wool over our eyes and say, well, I wasn't given any homework today. Now they can't do that because the teachers that assign them that homework are actually facilitating those classes. We've seen a lot of great outcomes through the last 5 years of running our Power Hour program the way we are right now. Over the last 5 years, we've seen an average increase in the NISA test scores of 10%. So our kids are scoring 10% higher than their Park Middle School counterparts that aren't a part of the Boys and Girls Club. And that's saying a lot also because our kids that we serve from the Boys and Girls Club, their demographics are a little bit higher, free and reduced lunch and that type of stuff than what the average Park Middle School student is. So So we've seen really great outcomes with that. We've also seen, and the gentleman earlier commented on the truancy issues at Park. So through our time, we've seen when it first started, when truancy court started, there was over, I think, 55 kids that were involved with the court. And now, like he said, they're down to 1. And a lot of that, just talking to the park administration, was due to power hour, because the kids weren't skipping school because they were behind 10 assignments, and the easy thing for a lot of these kids to do is just walk away. They're also prepared every single day for tests, quizzes, and so they're not avoiding school to get out of that. So, but again, I want to thank you guys for supporting this program. We've seen great things happen at Park, and we hope to continue to see those advances. So thanks again.
Any questions for Mr. Larson?
Would you be open if we came out for a tour to see the new space?
Anytime. Love to show it off.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the grant contract with Boys and Girls Club for the Power Hour program. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 3DD is a grant contract with Boys and Girls Club in the amount of $7,952.80 for the Power Hour program. The contract is funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Grant, passed through the Nebraska Commission on Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Title II grant. The term of the grant contract is March 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2017.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve another grant contract with the Boys and Girls Club for the Power Hour program. This contract will be funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Grant through the Nebraska Commission on Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice, Title II. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. EE is a grant contract amendment with Voices of Hope to increase the funding of County Contract C-15-93 by $12,697 to provide for an advocate in the Victim Witness Unit. The contract is funded by the U.S. Department of Justice Office on Violence Against Women under OVW fiscal year 2014 grants to encourage arrest policies and enforcement of protection orders program. Term of the grant contract is October 1st, 2014 through September 30th, 2017.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend the county contract with Voices of Hope to provide for an advocate in the Victim Witness Unit. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. FF is a grant contract with amendment with Cedars Youth Services to reduce the amount of funding on County Contract C-17-438 from $20,000 to $6,000. The contract is funded by the Commission on Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Community-Based Juvenile Services Grant. Term of the grant contract is July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2018.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend the county contract with Cedar Youth Services to reduce the amount of funding from $20,000 to $6,000. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Brinkman,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is number 4, consent items. Receive and place on file the Records and Information Management Report for July 2017. Utility permit number 1577, allowing Black Hills Energy to install natural gas pipeline on the west side of South 98th Street between Pioneer Boulevard and Old Cheney Road. There is no cost to the county. Utility permit number 1578, allowing Black Hills Energy to install a new gas line on the west side of North 148th Street from McKelvey Road to a point north of Alville Road. There is no cost to the county. Right-of-way contracts between Lancaster County and the following: Patricia K. Jones, trustee, North 148th Street and Holdridge Street, in the amount of $1,540. The Orr Family Trust, Northwest 40th Street and West McKelvey Road, in the amount of $1,742.50. Catholic Bishop of Lincoln, North 112th Street and Alville Road, in the amount of $1,540. Lee and Jean Pester, Southwest 91st Street and West Denton Road, in a total amount of $9,415, and that's for 2 contracts. Bruce Pester and Wayne Pester, Southwest 91st Street and West Denton Road, in the amount of $3,019. Richard and Dolores Kreiner, co-trustees, North 40th Street and Bluff Road, in the amount of $6,230. Moz Limited, North 148th Street and Alva Road, in the amount of $15. Setting a public hearing on Tuesday, August 29, 2017, at 9 a.m. in Room 112 of the County City Building regarding Keno Fund projects and Lancaster County's proposed budget for fiscal year 2017 through 2018. Setting a public hearing on Tuesday, September 5, 2017, at 9 a.m. in Room 112 of the County City Building regarding County Special Permit 16021A and an amendment to County Special Permit 16021 for hillside events to amend site-specific condition number 5 to revise the landscape screening at 12,400 West Denton Road.
Move approval of the consent items.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Avery.
Yes.
Brinkman.
Yes.
Wilchin.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 5 is public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to county business not on agenda may do so at this time.
Anyone from the public wishing to speak on an item related to county business not on the agenda? Okay.
Next is
come on up then. I mean,
No.
this is the opportunity for the public to, if you want to come up and.
I just want to be the last person to leave that.
Well, this is the time on the agenda for public comment, so.
I think you've got it covered.
Need to sign in again?
Yes.
I have a copy for each of you. Can this be handed to them? I've spent probably 4 weeks on my property taxes, and I was here last week and talked to you. You changed nothing on my evaluation. So I'm spending like every evening thinking about this, going over all the material I gave you. I've rearranged the material and put the last material I looked up at the top. And this is a complaint. I'm being subjected to unequal taxation by county governments. Comparing my home and 3815 North 12, having similar floor plans. The other house is about 30 feet larger. And the other house has been updated 2 or 3 times for sale since '85 when I bought mine. I've listed my house at the top. I bought in '85, 1,053 square feet. My new assessment is $121,900. That's $24,600 more than it was last year. I have no garage. 3815 North 12, sold March of last year for $112,500, has 1,080 square feet, built in '62. It has a similar floor plan. The new assessment is $107,300. That's $14,600 less than mine, or more than mine. Less than mine? The new taxation is $5,000 less. It has no garage. The other 2 homes that they were compared with all dropped in value by $5,000. These are the 3 homes the assessor's office compared with mine. One, like I said last week, both those 2 houses have two-car garages. They're 20 by 24 according to the assessor's office. The one on the one on North 12th has an additional side area to the garage, which is 11 by 16, I think, that's little workshop he built. I've tried to go through the process and do it the way that it says to be done. When I looked at the referee's form, I said last week the one check mark was insufficient data, no evidence of alternate value. Your referee stood over here on numerous complaints last week and said, I have nothing to compare them with. I've taken the data the assessor's office used and compared them. I went to the assessor's office, I asked them to just drive out and look at these two homes from the street. They're exactly the same, except one's a little larger. I've got repairs to make on my home. I've got plywood cabinets that are original, built in place. The spaces don't allow to have a commercially made cabinet fit exactly. That was $4,300, the low. I mean, I'm not looking at top model cabinets. It's $4,300 to replace plywood used cabinets. So I'm just asking you to look at this again. I get your letters saying that you're not changing anything, and I can't understand why. So I'm assuming that I'm being unequally taxed. I want you to look at these two houses and decide, you know, why is my house $14,000 more than the other house? Your referee couldn't explain it to me after the meeting. He said every house in Lincoln that's older has settlement problems and cracks. Not every house in Lincoln has 3 I-beams in the walls to keep the wall straight. The wall's originally pushed in. I had a friend help me use force to push them back out and place the 3 I-beams in place. I'd like you to look this stuff over and talk about it and consider it and let me know how you feel.
Well, Mr. Chrisman, just for your information, we did take final action last Tuesday. So at this point, the County Board and the Board of Equalization has taken final action, and we have no other role in your evaluation of your property. You should have been notified in writing.
Yeah.
You have the ability, and I would encourage you to do so, which is to appeal our action to the Tax Equalization Review Commission, and that would be where you're left with at this point.
I'm just saying, it's obvious from the material I've given you that this house isn't worth what you're saying it's worth. With the assessor's office, it was an honest mistake. I'm not saying anybody did it deliberately. An honest mistake placing the value on the house there. I couldn't get the assessor's office to even look at it. It's a insufficient data checkmark is a catch-22. Every home that makes a protest can have that checked. If the referee won't accept anything as alternate value, how do you protest your taxes?
Again, at this point, Turk would be the proper place for you to resolve your concerns.
So you're saying exactly the same thing. I've got a valid argument, but the assessor says that once they give a value, they won't change anything. They won't even come out and look at them from the street to see they're exactly the same.
And we've taken final action on the Board of Equalization valuation on your property. The appropriate place to argue this value is at Turk at this point.
I understand that process, but right now you have a complaint by me saying I was unequal taxation by this county. That is my complaint to you today.
But again,
that has nothing to do with the...
Again, the appropriate place to resolve that complaint is at Turk. So, thank you.
It may be, but I've still got a complaint, and I'd like to address that complaint. I'd just like you to do that.
Again, you have the right to appeal our action to Turk, and that is the appropriate place to resolve that complaint.
Your complaint will be made part of today's official record.
I know, with this referee, he just didn't know how to find an alternate value. There's no one in county government will tell you how to do it. I mean, we're just amateurs making protests, but gee whiz, how do you use his own data and still come up with something totally different? So you're saying you're not going to address the unequal taxation complaint?
Again, the appropriate body to take that issue up at this point would be Turk. We've already taken final action.
I know, but I'm starting to think, I've gone through 3 levels of this county government and had no one respond. Now I'm supposed to go to the state and hope they respond?
You have two other, having a professional appraisal done would also be a document in determining value. And then if you'd like the county assessor's office to come out and do an on-site, allow them the opportunity to tour the house and make confirmation of size, square footage.
They said last week they won't look at anything except 2018 taxes.
Correct, correct.
Well, I'll go ahead and file with the state then. And maybe I'll contact my attorney and ask him about this unequal taxation. This is, I'm just stating the facts, and your referee wouldn't even look at it.
Right. And I'll just point out that to prevail at Turk, you would likely need to have a third-party market analysis done. And that's usually how those protests are successful. So Commissioner Shore is correct.
But how can it be not successful when I'm comparing the assessor's own data? That's the thing. That's what I'm asking him to look at. He won't look at it. You didn't look at it. Your referee didn't look at it. And I'm supposed to expect the state man to look at it and say, here's the 3 comparisons? How is mine 14,000 more? I have the feeling I'm not going to win at state. That once the assessor makes an evaluation and you lose 2 arguments, you're not going to go anywhere with them. But I'm just making an argument now with you.
There have been numerous occasions where Lancaster County has lost at Turk. And so, again, those individuals who have been successful tend to have a independent third party provide some type of market analysis on their property, either by an appraisal or by a broker. So, again, it comes back to establishing a alternative market value. And that's what we talked about last week. So, okay, thank you. Like I said, we've noted your complaint.
It's just a frustrating system.
Right.
I mean, we use the assessor's own data.
Next is number 6, announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, August 17, 2017 at 8:30 a.m. in the Bill Luxford Studio, the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold their next early meeting on Tuesday, August 22, 2017 at 9 a.m. in Room 112 of the County City Building, with the Board of Equalization immediately following. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commission@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live. It is rebroadcast on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays on 5 City TV, cable channel 5. In addition, the meeting may be viewed on the internet at lancaster.ne.gov under 5 City TV Video on Demand or 5 City TV on YouTube.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Amundson?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Brinkman?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Wilchin?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay.